Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back for another video. My name is Shelby. This is True North Budgets. My husband Tanner and I are on a journey to pay off our debt, catch up in our sinking funds, and just get a better handle on our financial life. So if that content sounds interesting to you, please be sure that you hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, and leave a comment below. But today we're going to be doing a breakdown, a paycheck breakdown, so a budget with me for the second week of September. That's going to be the 12th through the 18th. Today is Saturday morning, the 13th. So I'm getting a little bit more caught up than I had been last week. But up on the top here, I have my monthly overview. So this shows all of the bills that I have this week or this month. And we're going to be looking from the 12th all the way through the 18th. So any of these bills that are highlighted in gray is what we will be budgeting out today. So not a lot of bills this week, which is great. We will go ahead and jump right into it. So first up at the top, we have income. So we have three different, I know it's cut off a little bit on this side, but we do have three sources of income this week. On Monday, I have I have my unemployment check, and then I have a payout hitting from Airbnb. So I help manage and co-host a couple Airbnbs here in town. Sorry, I had to take a sip of my coffee there. So that payout is going to be hitting on Monday for a booking that we had. The gal checked in. She checked in yesterday, and they pay out 24 hours after you check in. I actually had two people check in yesterday, so that's fun. But, oh, actually I had one check in on Thursday, and then another one checked in on Friday. So that's what it was. Sorry about that. So when I made my budget, I only knew about the one Airbnb booking that we had. We hadn't gotten any other bookings yet. I have made, over here I track my Airbnb income. So I've had quite a few. I've had 4 other bookings other than the one that I expected. This payout is really low because I had to pay out a cleaning fee to a gal that did the cleaning for me at the end of August because I was out of town, so I wasn't able to do it. We had a guest checking in, so I needed it to be done. So that's why that one's a little bit lower. I don't budget for those cleaning fees because I typically do them. I typically do the cleanings. So when I do happen to have to pay out an hourly rate to somebody else to do the cleaning, I will just subtract it from what I earned in one of my payouts. So that's kind of how I handle that. And then my third source of income is Spark. So I do grocery delivery for Walmart. I'm sure it's available in your area if you live in even a remotely busy town. I live in a pretty small town. We only have like 8,500 people, and we do have, sorry if you hear my dog in the background, she's just trying to get comfortable. But we have about 8,500 people here. We do have Walmart. So if you have a Walmart in your town or even near you, because I've even gone about like 45, 50 miles out to deliver. So if you live within like 40 to 50 miles of a Walmart, then chances are you can get delivery from them. So I do Spark delivery, and yeah. And then we also have some rollover money from last week. So whatever we didn't budget last week will go into this week. I have to kind of be creative about where I put my income because I only have 2 boxes. So let's go ahead and just do rollover on the top and Spark. And then we'll do unemployment and So for rollover, last week we ended with $667, and then I budget to make about $400 a week in Spark. So that'll be $1,067 for that. And then unemployment is $593. And then the Airbnb payout that I had budgeted for was the $109. I rounded down just to make sure that I wasn't budgeting for income that I didn't have. So that puts us at $702 for this section and a total of $1,769 for our income as a whole this week that we're working with. We only have 3 bills to work with for this week. So we have our gym membership that comes out today actually, and then First Mark is my student loans, and then Canva is one of my business expenses. So we don't have any bills, so that's going to be 0. We have $1,769 left. Subscriptions is going to be the gym and Canva. So the gym is $55 and Canva is $13. And the total for our subscription section is $68. And then First Mark goes under debt. And my student loan payment is, what did I budget? I budgeted $709. This is my custom budget planner. If you guys are interested, I will be getting it listed on my Etsy store hopefully this week. I do need to tweak a couple things, mostly just the layout. Like I want to make just some of these boxes are kind of small, like this one down here. I don't know how it ended up being, it was supposed to align with, I don't know if you guys can even see that, but this one right here, this line was supposed to align with this line, so it was just supposed to continue down. So just kind of small tweaks like that, and then making just a very bare bones base edition of my planner, so that those of you that don't have the 35,000 binders like I have, you're able to not have a bunch of pages that you're not going to use, but you also have the pages that you need. So in that you'll get the monthly overview of the whole calendar. You will get a monthly budget breakdown, so you'll get your whole month. And then I don't think I'll include, I think I'll just do like a savings section instead of breaking it down into each binder like I have. And then you'll get your paycheck breakdowns. I will include one for each week, so there will be 4. And then you'll get expense trackers as well. And then probably cash planning sheets. Let me find what those look like and I can show you. So this would be a cash planning sheet. You put your categories, the amount that you're stuffing, and then what denominations you want to take your bills out in, so that you can kind of figure out where you're at. But jumping back into our budget with me, so our total for our debt is $709. And to find out what we have left at the end of the left side, we'll take the $1,769 and subtract out each section. So $1,701 left after our subscriptions, and then $992 left after our debt. And then coming over into our variables, we have gas, groceries, and eating out. So for gas, we budget $50 a week. Groceries, we budget $250 a week, and eating out, we budget $30 a week. So the total for that section is $330. So then we'll take the $330 out from the $992, and we are left with $662. So our last section here is our savings section, and I'm actually going to have to flip my page to figure out what I have for savings. And I did budget, so this is my paycheck breakdown from last week. And I budgeted some of my savings money, not all of it. So like for date night, I'm doing 100 for the month, but last week I only did 25. So I just need to figure out what I've budgeted for already and make sure that I don't need to exclude or include a different category. So date night, I know that we will need to stuff that. So let's just do dates. We will do 25 again. And then low priority, I get $5 of spending money, and so does Tanner. And then self-care, last week I did 25, so I think that's what I'm gonna do again. And then we'll flip over. You guys aren't gonna be able to see all of this page, but a good chunk of it. Vitamins, we will do 25. Deductible is only getting 2, and I already stuffed that last week, so we're not going to be stuffing deductible. Same with treats, but food, this is pet food, that is going to be getting, let's do, I did 20 last week, so I've got 50 left. I have 3 more stuffings. Let's just do 20 again, just to keep it a round number. And then looking down at my wedding categories, gifts for the groom. Let's see, I needed 12 and I stuffed 5 last week. Let's just finish it off and do 7 this week. And then groom clothes needs 51 and I stuffed 10. So I have 41 left. Let's do 15. Makeup. For those of you that are new, Tanner and I did just get married on August 2nd, and we are still working on paying off our wedding. As you guys probably know, weddings are so stupid expensive. So that's where we're at. Weddings, goodness. Makeup needs 64. I've paid 16. So that is, again, what I'll do. And then gifts for the bride will get 20. Food for the reception. I believe I just was gonna do 30 for the first 3 weeks and then finish up what I'm missing the last week. So let's just do 30 again. And then same with brunch. We'll do 30 again for that. So let's get a total for this section. $223. Perfect. That sounds about right. Last week I stuffed 222, so that is perfect. So finally we'll take the remainder. So we have 662 minus 223 leaves us with 439 going into week 3. So that is it for my budget with me paycheck breakdown for week 2. I will go ahead and I'll go ahead and figure out what denominations I need for each of these categories. I do not stuff my bills I do not stuff anything on the left hand side, basically. So everything on the right hand side, I will figure out what denominations I need. I'll go to the bank, get those denominations out, and then I'll catch you in my cash stuffing. But that's going to do it for today's video, you guys. I hope you have a great rest of your day, a great rest of your weekend, and we will catch you in the next one. Bye!